Hi, and welcome to the fifth Muse on the Introvert Biz Growth podcast, the show where I talk to introverts who grow their business and make a difference. I'm Sarah Santacroce, your host, and if you're new here, then I want you to know that this is not the usual format of my regular episodes. I post a new show every other Friday, and it's always a conversation with a fellow introvert, an entrepreneur who uses his or her introverted superpowers to make a difference. These shows are edited by Tim, my professional podcast editor, and together with his team, they also create amazing show note pages. But today's episode is a Muse, unedited raw content, no intro music, no bells and whistles. And I share these muses to make you think, to inspire you, to break the rules, and to eventually invite you to the gentle business revolution when it's ready. Today's muse is again composed of two parts. First, I muse by myself about the fear of rejection. And then I'll also share a quick conversation I had with Lou Bortone, another previous podcast guest and fellow introvert and friend of mine, about the topic marketing with integrity. So let's talk about this fear of rejection. As conscious entrepreneurs, we truly care about our contributions to the world. So if people don't like what we share, it strongly affects us, probably more than others. But why does it hurt us more than others? I think it's because of our higher level of empathy. We truly care and want to help people. And if they don't let us help them or don't see the value in what we're trying to share, it really hurts. It also impacts us more because when we decide to share our gifts with the world and create something, a program, a course, coaching, a book, or something else. So when we decide to share this project, it takes us a lot more courage to go public than our extroverted counterparts, which is why it then also hurts more to get rejected. So how do we deal with this fear of rejection? As Lauren Sapala says in her book, Firefly Magic, if we want to clear the blocks around marketing and fear of rejection, we have to go back to the root. We have to go inward. It's so true. We all have our own personal story with rejection. Mine started with my emotionally unavailable dad, not feeling wanted or loved. So what's yours? What's your earliest memory of rejection? Maybe take a moment to journal about it. And once you've done that deep inner work, it's time to take out your list of what I like to call the rejection healers. These are people you love and trust. It could be mentors, friends, family members. And then give them a call or simply imagine them talking to you as you would talk to your own child who experienced a rejection. So with a soothing, loving, and encouraging tone. In order to make a difference, you really need to put yourself out there with vulnerability. And the more people you reach, the more rejections you will get. It's just the law of the universe. So if you don't have your list of rejection healers yet, I think that's what I would suggest. That's where to start. And yeah, go dig deep into that story of yours about rejection. And now, as promised, here's my conversation with Lou Bortone about the topic marketing with integrity and what that means to him.
Are you doing audio and video?
Just audio. Just
okay.
Audio. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Hi, Lou. How are you?
Yeah, audio only. I'm sorry.
Yeah, audio only. Okay. Lou, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. What I'm doing is I'm just reaching out to previous guests on the show and ask them one question. And that question is, what comes up for you when you think about marketing with integrity?
That's a good one. Marketing with integrity, to me, that means basically delivering on your promises and it's so funny because I talk to, my kids are like in college, but I always talk to them about, it's not that difficult to do the right thing. I mean, it's usually kind of common sense. So for me, it just comes down to, what's the right thing to do and the compassionate thing to do. And like, especially if you're in business, like you don't have to be a hard ass if somebody needs a refund or somebody's in a jam. I always try and be really flexible. So for me, it's really just, doing the right thing, even when you don't have to.
Yeah, that's I like how you say that, because sometimes you think what you see out there, you think, are these people really doing the right thing, in their marketing messages? And it doesn't always feel like that. What do you say?
Yeah. And I in our business and online marketing and stuff, sometimes you see these people and they've got, these ridiculously expensive masterminds or something. And, I hear on the back end, a lot of people say, oh my God, that was, it really wasn't that great, or I don't feel like I got the value. For me, it's like, I want to make sure that I totally deliver on value all the time.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's true when you hear about these $60,000, kind of like masterminds or whatever, you think, how can you deliver that much value, then again, it depends, I guess, what kind of businesses the participant is in, but yeah, so money is definitely an aspect, but also, so when we talk about marketing, how does that translate to you?
For me, it's, again, I try and make sure that nobody has to take out a second mortgage to afford to do coaching with me, and that it's just, reasonable and, provide as much value and over deliver whenever possible. And really just don't take advantage of people and don't make promises that you can't keep. So even though, we're all in the business of marketing and there may be a little bit of hype, it's like, look, I want my stuff to live up to the hype if there is any. And I want people to walk away thinking like, wow, that was totally worth it.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because this word integrity, I think it just resonates differently with introverts than it does with extroverts, because to us, it's so important that like we cannot sleep at night when we feel like we done something that was out of integrity.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I noticed, and I think it's true, and that I want that in my business as well. I have this offer that I call it the pay what you can offer. It's kind of an offer where people can just, instead of paying the full price, well, they decide what they can pay.
Oh, that's cool.
Again, today, this guy, sent me a long email and thanking me and explaining his difficult situation. And I'm like, that makes me so happy that he was able to afford it because of that offer. So it's things like these that I think, that just resonate with us and make us feel good, right?
Yeah, and the other thing on my end too is I'm really big on loyalty, and not like this crazy blind loyalty like our crazy president asked for. I mean, loyalty like, hey, we've known each other for a long time, we take care of each other, we have each other's backs, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've heard you mention that before, and sometimes you kind of related to the Godfather and that stuff, because Lou is known as the Godfather of video. But yeah, it's true. It's like, stick to your promises, like you mentioned before, stick to your word.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time to record this, and let's stay in touch.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to this 5th Muse episode. Don't forget, you can reach out to me and let me know what you think about these Muse episodes. Yay or nay. So far, the feedback I've been getting is quite positive. People tell me that it feels even more real because there's no bells and whistles, no editing, and it sounds like I was talking to you directly, which is what I'm doing. It's just that I don't see you. So let me know, and have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.